Alright, with any luck, I'm now live on Twitch. Let's pick up where we left off. At the Cruise Bazaar. Loading. Come on, load faster. Alright, let's see here. Destroy all Humanus. I'm all for that. Paul Amset. Step aside in the squalor of the disused U-Bahn tunnel gives way to warmth of your safe house. A man waits inside, silhouetted against the dim fluorescent lighting. Something bad has happened, hasn't it? Paul said. He steps forward, revealing a pale and expressionless face. Like glinting off of still-rimmed glasses, Paul Amsel, your team's fixer and landlord, part deal-maker, part information broker, one of the most well-connected men in Berlin. His eyes sweep across the steam and takes it all in. The grim faces, the hard stares, Iger's fury, Monica's absence. I had a feeling. How did she? His face has gone ashen. He swallows. Takes a moment to chew on the words before spitting them out. How did it happen? The run was a setup. 1 minute she was cracking the safe, the next she was on the ground screaming. Dietrich, I've seen Monica hit black ice before. This was something worse. Glory nods, her motions robotic and spare. Monica died of a biofeedback-induced stroke. That's right. Iger thrust a gloved finger into her chest. This idiot stood by and let it happen. Ignore it. Let it happen? She jacked in, she screamed, and she seized. By the time we saw she was in trouble, it was already too late. Yeah, because you never bothered learning what to look for. Muscle contractions and microtremors are good indicators of a decker in distress. I'm assuming you didn't have anyone keeping an eye out for those? No, if you had, my friend wouldn't be lying dead in the basement. Oh, shove off, Iger. We're all on the lookout for physical security, Walker included. Throwing me under the bus isn't going to help anything. Under a bus is exactly where he belongs. Iger turns to face Dietrich. She towers over him, but he stands his ground. I respect you, Dietrich. You know that. You don't have my training. None of you have. Monica was good. She was the best, right? She was also overconfident. She treated the job like a game. Do that long enough and you're going to get burned. Iger turns her focus back to you. If you've been paying attention, you'd have figured all this out on your own by now. You've known that Monica needed watching as much as that door. Enough, Iger. Ansel's voice is hoarse, his expression blank. Enough. Iger pushes ahead, heedless of the interruption. Her voice remains measured. There's fire in her eyes. How many seconds pass between Monica's first convulsion and her plug getting pulled? 4, 5? Do you know how much damage biofeedback can do to Decker's brain? How dare you? You don't have to answer that, of course. Of course you know. Monica died while I stood there and watched. This is all your fault. Paul. That is enough! Ansel's voice comes out in a roar, and his fist smashes on the desk behind him. Iger, you and Walker can have it out later, but I've had enough. We need to talk action. Our client sent you something much bigger than you'd led us to believe. I want to know why. Right there with you. This is supposed to be a milk run. That's always a bad sign whenever you think this is going to be a milk run. Payback isn't the only reason we need to find him. We saw something back there, something that we weren't supposed to see. It's fair to assume that we're still in danger. Paul pauses, he rubs his temples. Agreed. And to neutralize that danger, we need to know who we are dealing with. Let's review the events that transpired tonight. The smallest detail could be important, so hold nothing back. Monica lived long enough to say a name. Fushwinge. She fought hard to tell us it must be important. Ansel seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment before responding. The Firewing. This is unexpected. You'll have to forgive me, this brings back many unpleasant memories. Glory raises an eyebrow. Firewing? The most terrible of the great dragons. There are those who disagree, but they never experience the terror of living in her shadow. He glances at Glory. You are far too young to remember her, of course. But for Germans of my generation, the name Fushwinge is synonymous with chaos, destruction, and death. The dragons of today are subtle creatures full of patience and guile. Fushwinge was not I'll just call her Firewing because that's apparently the English translation. After her awakening, she went on a 4-month rampage that claimed tens of thousands of lives. Ansel takes a deep breath, slowly releases it. There's a haunted look in its eyes. Those were dark days. Countless men, women, and children were slaughtered, risked alive in their homes by a creature of legend. No hope for salvation, no end in sight. It was a horror that you cannot begin to understand. That sounds pretty bad. What stopped her? I can't imagine that a rampaging dragon would just go away on its own. Eventually, the Firewing was brought down by a man named Dr. Adrian Valclair? Well, with the help of the Luftwaffe, of course, but it was experimental weapons designed by Dr. Valclair that finally pierced her hide. She found a hail of bullets and rocket fire crashed down in the radioactive wasteland of the SOX. This event was called the Dragonfall. Ah, name of the game. Safe at last from Dragon's wrath, Germany celebrated Voltaire as a hero, our own Siegfried, modern-day dragon slayer. My own family practically worshipped the man. The Dragonfall was so important an event as you make it out to be. I'm surprised I've never heard of it. Those early years of the Awakening were traumatic, Eager. Not just on a national level, but on a global scale. New species of awakened animals are beginning to be discovered daily. Within 2 years of the Dragonfall, the active use of magic had returned to the world, a new source of terror for a bewildered public. And in 2021, the sudden emergence of orcs and trolls revived another wave of global panic. In light of such turmoil, is it any surprise Dr. Valclair and the Firewing were forgotten? Dragons were yesterday's news. He rubs his temples. Again, all this happened decades ago, to the best of my knowledge. The story of Firewing is a bit of historical trivia, nothing more. Alright, so Monica spent her dying breath trying to tell us about a long-dead dragon. Iger sweeps her eyes across the room, searching for a glimmer of insight. Finally, she gives up. Any ideas why? Ansel's voice trembles with frustration. No. It doesn't make any more sense to me than it does to you. The Dragonfall is ancient history. Firewing is dead and gone for nearly 42 years. There's one thing I do know. Whatever Monica saw, whatever she's trying to tell us, it was important. He visibly struggles to calm himself, takes a deep breath, and slowly releases it. I will look into this and I'll find answers. In the meantime, did you turn up anything else of value? The estate was just a front with whatever going on in the basement. Mental nods, that much is clear. It wasn't a minor enterprise either. The facility took serious funds to build. And time. There's more to it than we saw. Places like that don't spring up overnight. All in secret. I doubt that the owners, whoever they may be, are too pleased with your escape. What else did you find? After everything went to hell, we were confronted by an orc in military-grade armor. appeared to be the head of security. That is not much to go on. Do any details about this work come to mind? Any distinguishing features I could look into? He was an older guy for one. From the sound of his voice, I'm guessing mid to late 40s. Pretty old for an orc. And he'd had skin grafts. Much of his face looked like replacement material. The grafts came from a legitimate hospital that made medical records. That is something I can see what I can find out. Do you have anything other about... Did you note anything else during the run that might be of value? That's all we've got. Not much. It's a nod. His face is drawn and haggard. It is thin, I agree. A basement middle-aged work with skin grafts and a long forgotten world event. Wait, we're still missing something. Who paid for this run? Saul looks pained. I did not know his exact identity. I did not set up the run. Monica did. His face reddens. I warned her. I told her not to take the job, but she assured me that it would be a cakewalk. Monica was approached recently by a man who calls himself Green Winters. He used to be a prominent activist in the F-State political scene. I never much liked the man, and I certainly never trusted him. Monica, she would do anything for her cause, anything for the Flux State. He sighs. Winters swore that the data he was after was crucial to ensuring the future stability of the Flux. And that was all it took. We need to track down Monica's client and press him for information. Yes, most definitely. It's clear that Green Winters has involved us in something much larger than led Monica to believe. Finds out what happened on the run, he's probably gonna rabbit. We can chase him down before that happens. We need information on Green Winters, and we need it fast. There's a man in the Cruise Bazaar, a Turk named Altug Bazaki. Altug. He owns a little soy calf shop just down the way called Cafe Cesvi. This man is a purveyor of information. I've done business with him from time to time. Do you think we know something about Green Winters? Amsel nods. When I discovered Monica's renewed association with Green Winters, I contacted Altug. One of those people has been keeping tabs on Winters ever since. As I said, I did not trust the man. For good reason, it would seem. I'll talk to Altug and see what he knows about Green Winters. Very well. Tell him I sent you. I'll do what I can to dig into information that you've uncovered already, sparse though it may be. Alright, I like Ansel. Is that a hellhound? Let's talk to Dietrich. He seems like a cool dude. Dietrich turns his head at your approach. His aging face is traced with a network of faint scars, the legacy of too many fights over too many years. While he still retains a degree of strength and vigor, it's obvious that the shaman you see today is a shadow of his former self. Despite all of this, there's still an aura of power surrounding the man. He raises his bottle, offering it to you. Walker, welcome. We've got a bottle of schnapps that needs sharing, and we've got a fallen comrade to drink to. Take the bottle. To Monica, Prost. The liquor in the bottle is crystal clear, and as you raise it to catch an intoxicating whiff of cloves and caramel. It tastes of sweet corn and walnuts with a lingering active taste of buttery toffee. You swallow a swig, then return the bottle to Dietrich's outstretched hand. He takes a long pull of the bottle and locks eyes with you. Let me ask you a question, Walker. What made you choose to come to Berlin? Let's be upfront with Dietrich. He seems alright. What do you want to know? Monica told me that you moved here from the Rhine-Ruhr Megaplex. Made it sound like you've been there for a good many years. Successful years at that. He's a man to wonder why he picked up and moved here. Remember member of my old crew betrayed me. Ain't that a pisser? I can handle all sorts of things, but betrayal always makes me see red. For extenuating circumstances, if he didn't do what he did, his family would have paid the price. That's rough, but it's still on him, not you. You should have been more careful. What'd you do? What could I do? Fake my own death. It was the only way to save his family's lives. Wouldn't have been my choice, but good on you, I suppose. All the same, Walker, saints don't tend to last very long in this line of work. Trust me, I watched enough of them by to know. Okay, so you faked your own death, bailed to the rest on the rest of your team, made your way here to Berlin. Dietrich takes another pull of the bottle. Am I getting that right? More or less. There wasn't much left for me in the Ruhrplex. Monica made me hell of an offer. Ah yes, Monica. Dietrich raises the bottle again and closes his eyes and takes a long drink. After the moment's passed, he turns attention to you. All comes back to our girl, doesn't it? So let me ask you, just what was your relationship with Monica anyway? I knew you two knew each other way back, but she was pretty coy about these things. We're treading into dangerously personal territory here. Are we? Sorry about that. Never much for boundaries, all the same. I'd like if you tell me. I can respect that. So what was the deal between the two of you? Don't leave me in suspense. We were very close. Dietrich nods. Figured as much, not from anything you or Monica said, just as suspicion. Well, anyway, good on you both. Dietrich raises his bottle to you and salutes. She was a wonderful woman. I hope your time together was happy. Anyway, I've taken enough of your time, and the bottle's almost empty. Thanks for taking the time to talk. For what it's worth, I'm happy you're here with us. Dietrich takes a final pull of the bottle, then tips it forward, pouring the rest on the ground. Rest in peace, Monica. Bless you, girl. Let's talk to Dante. Start towards the stay south door, a large four-legged form steps around the corner. Dante, Monica's dog, an enormous mongrel of indeterminate breed. A low whimper emerges as he enters the room, head hanging low. Ah, shit. Dante. Dietrich shakes his head. Don't worry, boy. We'll look after you. The sight of Monica's dog, Amsel's eyes well up. He inhales, but can't quite catch his breath. Started whimpering about an hour ago, turned into a full-blown howl. Wouldn't stop. Kept. Closes his eye. That's when I realized something bad had happened. Looking down to those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. He lets out a small whine and rubs his head against you. Grab Monica's bag of soy jerky treats. Ooh, that sounds tight. Awful. Off the table and give him one. Dante takes the treat in his mouth. It was clear that he has no appetite for it, and the jerky drops to the floor. He leans into you and looks up mournfully, pressing his ribs against your leg. I guess the dog is going with you, Walker. He takes a radical breath and releases it, then a slow, melancholy smile plies across his face. Well, perhaps part of Monica lives on in Dante. Return to the safe house when you finished with Altug, mein Freund. With a little luck, you can help us locate Green Winters and we can get to the bottom of all this. Stares at the floor. Now I think we should all take a moment. For Monica. Alright, let's go talk to Glory. It's fuck if I'm talking to Iger right now. Glory is beautiful in a waifish sort of way. Her features are almost elvish in their delicacy. But there's something cold about her that you find slightly unsettling. Because she's probably 90% metal. More unsettling is her chrome. Glory is rocking a heavy loadout of cyberware. From head to toe, she looks to have been composed more of plastic and metal than she is of skin and bone. In the shadows, individuals such as this are anything but uncommon. Glory's cyberware is first generation, all of it. Bulky, invasive, practically museum pieces. This chrome was obsolete well before she was born. Walker? Glory shifts her gaze to you, but her expression is cool and placid as always. Can I help you? Glory, how are you holding up? Don't worry about me. I'm solid. You say you're good, I trust you. Lawyer's expression remains neutral, but she grants you a barely perceptible nod. Any thoughts on what we should do next? Find our missing client, extract some answers. Beyond that, find another Decker. Monica won't be easy to replace. Let's start looking now. Talk to you later. Suit yourself. I can equip the dog. I love this. Alright, I got nothing else to throw in there, so do that. Monica's room. Alright, let's get this over with and talk to Iger. Iger glares at you. You can taste the bile in her stare. She clearly still blames you for Monica's death. Something I can do for you, fearless leader. We need to talk about Monica. Not right now, we don't. Don't push me on this, Walker. One of these days, we're gonna hash this out. You can talk all you like about the clusterfuck that killed one of my best friends, but it won't be today. Fair enough. Before I go, I have something else to say. Spit it out then, let's hear it. You're wrong about me, Iger. I intend to prove that to you. Stares for a moment, then looks away. Best of luck with that, Walker. No, please, leave me alone. Alright, but this conversation isn't over. It is for now, fearless leader. She turns away. Do us both a favor. Take the hint and go away. Yeah, you're pretty pissed off. Alright. Take a look at my karma. Alright. Got 6 karma. Let's raise dodge. And let's raise shotgun to aim shots. There we go. Helps us get shot less, and we can kill more things. And let's save game. I wish I knew what that meant. Probably interesting or entertaining. The dwarvish tech vendor smiles at you with practiced ease, her almond eyes twinkling with the glare from a dozen trid screens. She speaks to you in a clipped, heavy, accented German. Welcome to Data Haven. Can I help you with something? Alright, let's see, where were we here? I need some tech, and I'm on a tight schedule. Show me what you got. I'm in the market for something exotic. Let's go for that one. Anything and everything. Need a new deck, some software perhaps? I'm your girl. She taps a painted fingernail against a molded plastic or data jack. Or maybe you're a rigger, like I am. Perhaps I can interest you in a new drone or two. I'm just browsing. What? Because I'm browsing, I don't get to see something? Yeah, whatever. Okay, so that's gotta be Altug. I am so butchering these names. So that's a Talismonger. I'm not magically active, so that's not going to do me any good. Maybe for Dietrich later. That woman must be awfully cold. Tip the Dancer. Let's toss her 5 new yen. It's down into the subway tunnels. Gunari Matbach. Let's see what he has to say. The Romani Patriarch is an impressive figure, an enormous man in his late 60s, burly and broad-chested despite his age. His voice is deep and resonant, and his breath is heavy with the stench of tobacco pipe. Pipe tobacco, rather. Tavan Bakstall, you're here to conduct some business, if so, welcome you to Matbach Arms and Ammunition. If not, keep right on walking. I have cash and I need weapons. Show me your goods. Alright, does he have any shotguns? I want an improved shotgun. Ooh, smart like weapons are in this one. SMGs, shotgun. Shotgun. Don't want a rifle. I don't want a katana, machete, or a baseball bat. Alright, now what I'd like is another frag grenade. Alright, so now I have a frag grenade. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, my Romani friend. Zach Flash. Oh, that's an awful... The elf clearly has seen better days. His skin is weathered and emaciated, though has been stretched too tightly over his frame. Track marks line the crooks of his arms, and dirty bandages wrap his knuckles. Despite all this, he seems cheerful enough. The elf fixes his twinkling, bugged-out eyes and ears and offers you a broad smile, displaying a set of impossibly white teeth. When he speaks, his voice is surprisingly deep. Guten Tag, mein Freund. You here for some magic? Because Zach Flash, he gestures to himself with a dramatic flourish, is your magic man. Magic? Are you a street mage? Zack lets out a throaty, barking laugh. Street mage? Me? Do I look like a street mage to you? He shakes his head, but his smile doesn't waver. He fishes a small bag of pills out of his back pocket and dangles them before your eyes. No, chummer, I'm not a street mage. I've got the magic in my blood and the magic in these bags, but you won't catch old Zack studying any spell books. Let's talk about something else. Alright, friend, what else would you like to talk about? Change my mind. We're good. Toodles. I'm not here for no drugs at the moment. Who's Simi? Simi, warming herself in the dim light of a dying street lamp, is a waif of a girl who looks far too young for her years. The clothes she wears suggests the oldest profession, and the fog in her eyes suggests a habit demands such a line of work. The Mother Superior, she says there will be 7 for me to care for. I need to see to them. 7 what? What do you have to care for? The captain's children. The Mother Superior says there are 7. Says I'm to be the governess to the children. You notice a chipjack poking... Oh, fuck! She's a chip head. You notice a chipjack poking out beneath the young woman's unruly hair. The vacant look in her eyes marks her to likely be a BTL junkie. Lost between reality and any number of better-than-life virtual constructs. I need money to get back to them. Look, do you know Monica? Monica? Is she one of the sisters at the Abbey? No, wait, Monica. Flicker of recognition flights through the haze in the young woman's eyes. Yes, Monica, she's good to me. She brings me food and tea to drink. Something happened to her. Despite the woman's persistent delirium, she ceased to glean the meaning of her tone. She died while working a job. Yeah. The girl grips her head with clawed hands, setting at her hair as if she might pull her brain out through her skull. I don't like this, but I can't switch it off. Rose for old buddy shudders and eyes grow large, but she does not sob. Instead, she smiles a sad smile, which looks been worn all too often. She will go to heaven, she told me. It was a place for good people, stillborn babies and childhood pets. She was a good person. The girl then begins to mumble to herself while fingering the hair that covers the jack of her head. I'm going to step away now. Yes, good. I need to rejoin the children. Oh, that's sad and heartbreaking. What's back here? So our monument towers before you. At the top of the pedestal, the form of an angel stands, its outstretched wings looming over the small park. The material is strange and uneven, giving the statue a cold, Frankenstein-esque appearance. It appears that the artist has welded this monument together from various scrap metals and pieces of junk. So you approach a small, grimy monitor at the base. The statue flickers dimly to life. The grimy face of a smug young orc appears on the screen. Hello there! I'm Herbert Kunzel, the creator of this monument. What would you like to know? Press button 1, statue name. This is my tribute to Victory, the victory of anarchy. It's both a citation and parody of the statue we destroyed some 20 years ago. You may remember it from history triads as the Sigasul or Goldos. Button 2, installation history. Isn't it obvious? The Sigasul, a monument to the hubris of the Prussian state, gets blown to bits. So someone takes a lot of the bits and builds a monument to the hubris of anarchy. Sort of ironic. I mean, what more is there to say? Button 3, about the artist. I am the visionary Hubert Kunzel from the Lundwalmer. You might know me from... Okay, well, there isn't much I'm known for yet. But I intend to change that. All art is born from misery, after all. Step away. Let's pick up the ringing phone. It's an old, obsolete phone booth. It's ringing. Pick up the receiver. A monotone, pitch-adjusted voice begins speaking almost immediately. What? The Schockwellenreiter's contact for this keys is no more. Walker is listed as a follow-up contact. This is our only secured line to this keys. Please listen to the following instruction carefully. Your supporter of your cause. Listen carefully. We have phone booths in strategic locations throughout the city. Within each one you may find a request posted for specific information. If you contain a copy of this information, return here and submit it via the port below the receiver. We'll verify the authenticity of the information and post an undoctored copy of it onto the Matrix ourselves. Our stated goal for this information remains free to all. However, you'll be compensated for sought for information returned to this location. Cool. Line goes themselves. Keep my eye out. Line remains silent. Hang up the receiver. Interesting. Let's go, Dante. It's time we go found Altug. Ooh. Lane. Before you stands a troll, though it is stretched to say he is standing at... Oh, his great mass is barely held upright by two vintage prosthetic legs, along with a crutch under one arm. His body clicks and hums with every shift of his weight. Despite these disabilities, his eye is sharp and calculating. I know you. You know Monica. Sure, I know Monica. You one of hers then? Something you should know about Monica. Something happened to her on the run. I'm afraid so. There already have been whispers. I had a feeling, besides, Monica almost always comes around after a run to check on everybody. She's long overdue. Now here you are in her place, so she's either severely wounded or outright dead. Which is it? I'm afraid she's gone. Grizzled Troll nods grimly, the servos in his prosthetics complaining as he lets loose a heavy sigh. Now that is a shame. She's a hell of a runner, that one. And a good friend. I'm Walker, by the way. Good to meet you, Walker. Name's Aliski Lane. What's your place in the cruise bazaar? No place really, just an old relic rusting away. I'll leave you be. Alright, so that's where I came out of. I think. Yep. I'm going to save. Special day is caramel soy cap. Jan Goldschmidt's. Hello, my friend. The voice that comes from the man in the chair is as enormous as its owner. A deep booming roar dripping with unrestrained mirth. Fine day for soy calf, yes? Every day is a fine day. From the back of the store, the voice of the shopkeep cuts you off. Don't mind the fool in the chair. He roars like a traumatized walrus, stewing all day in his own sweat. The man behind the bar glares at Goldschmidt, his upper lip curled in disgust. I tolerate him only because he takes his soy calf by the bucket. Goldschmidt responds to the ruckus belly laugh. Apparently finds shopkeeper's insults to be hilarious. Ah, I'll tug, mine friend. You are quick-witted and sharp-tongued as ever. I'll bow to you. Are you going to put... Once again, the shopkeeper cuts in. To bow to me, you first have to vacate your chair. Shopkeeper claps his hands together, clasping in front of his chest. I shall summon a team of determined young men and an ox to assist with the task. With luck, you'll be on your feet by nightfall. Goldschmidt smiles up at you, his eyes... small eyes glittering. Enough of this senseless bickering. You have approached me for a reason, yes? Tell me, what can Jan Goldschmidt do for you? Why did you put up with those insults? Don't you have any pride? Put up with them because they amuse me. The fact that they amuses me further infuriates my dear friend Altuk, who in turn hurls more insults. Goldschmidt raises his soy calf cup in salute, and thus the cycle continues. It is 2 years now that I've been a customer. Yes, Altug? 2 years of soy calf and strained patience. Strained patience, yes. But I remain happy and Altug makes money, an ideal business relationship. All sounds perfectly healthy. Take care, Jan. Goldschmidt gives you a deep nod, his jowls quivering. Until next time, my friend. Let's talk to Altug. A Turk. The man behind the counter looks right past you and at the dog falling close behind. Dante! I will fetch his water dish and perhaps a coffee for our friend here. Well, let's get this over with. Paul Amsel sends his regards. When he hears Amsel's name, the Turk's voice lowers and his accent becomes less exaggerated. His eyes take on a knowing look. Ah, very good. Please express to Herr Amsel my appreciation of his patronage. Needs any more catering jobs seen in the future, I am always happy to provide. Tells me you're developing the menu for a friend of his now. Herr Winters, I believe. I want to hear about it. Let's go with that one. Yes! Yes, of course, O wise one. Come! A young woman bustles in from the back room. Her gum chewing is loud enough to hear over the noise of the coffee grinders. Brakazi spits something out in rapid-fire Turkish. As you wish, uncle. I will see to it right away. Kami offers you a shy grin, snaps her gum, and hurries back into the room that she came from. My girl Kami is arranging to make conference with this chef as we speak. So it'll likely take some time. My chef is a busy man. Oh, wait, I wonder if you would be so kind as to run a small errand for me. A trifle, really. I hate to trouble you. I'm embarrassed to even ask. Would be more appropriate for your help. Of course, Herr Berkazzi, it is no trouble at all. Altek's voice lowers to nearly a whisper. The errand is simple, hardly worthy of you. I've installed a number of data taps to Berlin's fiber optic network as part of my civic duty, you understand. These taps provide free matrix access to all who live in the Cruise Bazaar. In order to maintain their, their anonymity, each tap protocol buffer must be reset every few days. Simply wish for you to visit each tap and reset it. Simple enough? Yes, it is a simple job. Time-consuming, a bit tedious perhaps, but simple. Just reset the taps and come back when you are finished. There should be 3 of them scattered around this neighborhood. The first one is just outside. Look for a metal box with yellow arrows painted atop it. At the time of your turn, I should have information Herr Amsel requested. Alright, we can do this. Dante coming with me? Yeah, good dog. Oh, over here. Now, probably supposed to do this and then wander around the neighborhood, but oh well. I don't think I talked to that guy before. The sound of you approach, the orc turns to face you. He wears a severe expression, but there's kindness in his eyes. Ah, hello human. As you can see, I'm in the middle of a conversation with my assistant. The volunteer worker holds her silence, but her expression is full of naked hostility. Samuel gives her a sidelong glance and she seems to get the message. The fire in her eyes dies down to a low simmer. But we do not want to be impolite. Is there something I can do for you? I can't help overhearing your conversation. I take it that you run a charity of some sort. He nods. Yes, it is a much, but we do what we can. Such as? Give me specifics. Clears his throat, then begins to count off his fingers. In the past several years, I established a shelter where the dispossessed can sleep, a soup kitchen to feed the hungry, and a library for people at the Cross Bazaar to better themselves. It isn't much, I admit, but it's a start. A good start, Samuel. You mustn't be so hard on yourself. There are limits to what one man, even a determined man, can accomplish. This is true. He nods to the orc. I decide. Thankfully, some of the residents that I've helped over the years come back around to help me. I've got 15 assorted orcs and trolls from all around the Cruise Bazaar working with me now. They help me keep the soup line, stock the library shelves, and to do all the hundreds of other little things that a community organization needs done every day. These extraordinary individuals are living proof that what we do here has value, their inspiration to continue forward. She beams at the compliments. From her body language, it's clear that she idolizes Beckenbauer. Now, do you have any more questions? If not, I'll bid you a good day. I don't wish to sound self-important or rude, but there are many pressing matters that demand my time. Are you accepting donations? Yes, of course. We're actually desperate for them, truth be told. People seem more intent on taking care of themselves than they are on providing for less fortunate. Of course, these concepts are unrelated. As poverty rates increase, so does the crime rate. Assisting the needy increases the quality of life for all. In any event, our shelter has some basic needs that desperately need to be filled. The walls of the shelter are not insulated, and new blankets would go a long way toward keeping our guests healthy and comfortable. Ideally, we'd like to purchase some space heaters as well. With 250 new yen, we could make the purchase. Of course, I do not expect you, a relative stranger to our keys, to contribute that much. Whatever you could spare would be most appreciated. You know what? Fuck it. Here's 250 new yen. I've got you covered. Samuel's eyes widened. That is incredibly generous. Thank you, my friend. Not a big deal, Sam. Do good with it. With this donation, we have reached our first goal. Thank you so much for your assistance. I'll put your contribution to work stocking the shelter with blankets and heaters. Not a problem. Please do not downplay your contribution. You have shown kindness to me when few others will. That means something. It means a great deal. Let's talk about something else. Very well, if you wish. What would you like to talk about? No questions, I'm just passing by. Alright, let's find another one of these. How much money do I have left after I just spent all that? Oh, I have 520. There it is. Duh. There it is. So you're resetting the data tap. You notice that someone has duct taped a small homemade receiver to the system. Your plug dangles from the receiver. Put the earplug in your ear. The sound of heavy machinery makes it difficult to hear the words that are being spoken. After a moment, you can make out two distinct voices. A nasal woman who sounds like a heavy smoker, and a man who speaks in a high-pitched, breathy tone. Nasal woman. I just heard Monica. Need to verify. Good for us. Continue listening. Sound like a conveyor belt starting adds noise of machinery, and you can't make out anything else until it comes to stop a minute later. The high-pitched man. Think our next step. Nasal woman. Wait. Isn't ready to make a move yet. To be patient. See who steps up. Could be someone more. Continue listening. More conveyor belts start up, and he hears the sound of machinery. Some sort of motorized vehicle starts up, driving everything else. The bell rings loudly again and again. It sounds like a telephone. You hear the sound of a door slamming shut, and the noise of machinery is suddenly muffled. There's a rattle of plastic, and the ringing stops. The nasal woman's voice can be heard again, sing-song tone. Guten Tag, how may I help you? Her tone changes to become more businesslike. I heard. Silence. Yes, he knows. I told him it wasn't time to make a move yet. Silence. What do you think I am, an idiot? The council needs to meet again. I know, getting everyone in the same room is challenging. Getting them to agree on a course of action is going to be even more challenging. From my perspective, the cruise bazaar is only stable because of her. She really is out of the way. Well, we'll see, won't we? Yeah, I know. What can I say? Things go slow in the flux sometimes. The sound door opening again, and the cacophony of machinery fills the line. You can't make out anything else. Okay. Interesting. I want to see what's in here. As he approached the elf, he noticed that he's in mid-conversation. His lips move rapidly, and his voice comes in a slow, quiet tone. The glossy plastic shell of high-grade comlink clinks on his wrist. Listen in on his conversation. Doing his best to look uninterested, you lean in slightly and strain your ears. You find that you can make out the doctor's end of the conversation. No. The price I'm quoting you is more than fair, well below market value, in fact. If you can't pay it, that's your problem. Yes, I know the price has gone up. This is a seller's market. Well, then you'll have to find the money or go without. I'm sorry, but I have to go. I have a patient. He presses a button on his comlink and looks up at you, a $1 million smile on his face. Sorry about that wait, my friend. Welcome to the Triage Cyber Clinic. I am Dr. Xavier Ezekiel, and your name is... Walker. A pleasure. Pleased to meet you, Walker. What can I do for you today? I need cyberware. I don't want a cyberjack. Not yet, at least. Okay, so if I need cyberware, this is where I come. Oh, it's you who I bought the shotgun from. Okay. I don't think I talked to you before, David. A pair of round eyes peer up at you from under the hood of a grim, smeared winter coat. You recognize him as David, one of the crew's bizarre street kids. If you had to guess, you'd place him in his mid-teens, though it's difficult to tell beneath the grime and acne marking his face. Seen him following Monica around between runs, chasing her heels like a lost puppy. She always seemed to have a soft spot for the kid. Oh hoy, Walker! Have you seen Monica around? I've been looking all over for her. I'm afraid I have some bad news for you, kid. The kid blinks, like expression on his face. She's dead, isn't she? I'm sorry, kid. We all are. Yeah, I think I want to be alone right now. God damn, this is sort of depressing. Alright, let's talk to Altug. Get some revenge out of this motherfucker. Man behind the counter has the broad smile and open demeanor of a classic Turkish street vendor. Welcome! Honored to offend him. Welcome. How can Burgazi serve you today? Would you like a cup of coffee, perhaps? I finished with your little trifle. Coffee, as in real coffee, not soy calf? Yes, for individuals of refined taste, I offer genuine bean coffee from my native Turkey. The cafe owner looks you in the eye, the owner's voice grows low and serious. This is top-shelf item, my friend, not for the general public. Only for those few discerning connoisseurs who can properly appreciate it. I think I'm the sort who can appreciate it. Tell me about the Turkish coffee. It is hand-picked by a family in Turkey, a true delicacy of the Sixth World. This was considered a luxury even before the awakening, when bean coffee was everywhere. Every street corner, they say. Is that a Starbucks reference? Burgazi leans in close, lowering his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. Long hours in the shop have perfumed his body with a committed sense of coffee, incense, and applewood tobacco. Trust me, if your coffee experience has been limited to soy calf, you must not deny yourself this opportunity. You will see God. This is some damn good coffee. Alright, you sold me. How much? This specialty item. Delivered at some cost. I cannot part with it for less than 50 new yen a cup. 50 new yen for... You know what? If I see God, what the fuck? Very good. Fish coffee. Burgazi hands a ceramic travel cup, which he then fills to the brim with dark steaming liquid. The scent is intoxicating. Is there anything more that I can do for you? I finished with your little trifle. Ah, very good. I assume you had no difficulties? Not at all. It was good to take in the night air. Difficulties? No. One of the taps had been modified a bit, though. Someone was using it as a surveillance device. He laughs. Of course they were. I would be surprised if they weren't. This is Berlin, after all. In the flux, everyone spies. If you do not spy, how will you know who's in power and who will be in power next? If you're to stay here, Effendin, you must get used to it. Who enters the Turkish bath with sweat, as my uncle Treadmere always says. Nevertheless, I shall have one of my people look into it. Wait, there's more. I listened in on the tap and heard something might be important. His eyes are he eyes you closely, amused. Oh, tell me, O listener at keyholes, what did you hear on the surveillance tap you found? Couldn't make out much. An Asian woman and a high-pitched man. They seemed pleased Monica was out of the picture. Turkish face falls. News travels fast in Berlin. These two are known to me. Is there any more? The woman got a call. She talked about a council meeting tonight, decided they should make a move. And she's drowned out by heavy machinery. He nods grimly. Most excellent. It's indeed fortuitous that you discovered this information, though it was not unexpected. I'll have one of my people attend this council meeting and report back. Sounds good. Keep me in the loop. That out of the way, let's return to our pressing business. He barks a stream of rapid-fire Turkish, and the gun-chewing young woman comes hurrying out to the counter. The menu for Herr Amsal, uncle. Cammy hands you a folded piece of paper. Inside is a memory stick. Please extend my consolations to him. The death of Fräulein Schäfer must have hit him hard. Gazi gives Cammy a small nod. She hurries out of the room. When she's gone, he returns his attention to you. Please express my condolences as well. I only just heard the news. Monica was an important part of this community. He frowns. You know how important. The memory stick Cammy just handed to you should contain all the information her Amsel requires for you from our chef in the field. Should you require my services in the future, you know where to find me. Until then, good day.